We on.
So we got Reggie Wilcox in the building
Fellas, how you doing?
with EAD basketball, and we initially, my contact with you initially was COVID. When COVID hit, all the facilities were shut down, and we were open, able to rent courts, which was a blessing for us and something that we didn't expect. We weren't even thinking about that. And then you called and was renting the court like on a weekly, couple times a week on a weekly basis. And so that was our first initial contact. And then, you know, I really didn't know about you. Keith knew about you. And I started seeing the elite athletes coming through and skilled athletes. And I'm like, man, Reggie really has it going on, you know? And just seeing your operation for that brief moment, probably about what, 2 months, 3 months?
3 months, 3 months.
Which enabled you to see us and a little bit of our operation, and we got to experience your operation, and we were, you know, had the lines of communication open and built up a friendship, and you know, it also led into us doing a partnership last season, AAU season. So we wanted to hear about, you know, how you started, you know, and how you got to where you are now, because it's what you've built and how you've progressed is just phenomenal.
Awesome. Well, 2011, when I got started as far as EAD, it started off just as skills training because being a former high school coach in Dallas ISD, at one of the high schools in Dallas ISD, that I couldn't really start my AAU program because of that. So I had to just basically just focus on the skills training in 2011. And I was seeing so much talent in the city of Dallas. Me not being from Dallas, moved to Dallas in '08 and got a chance to just be in the high school coaching realm, watch all the talent. I was amazed by the facilities here at Dallas. Coming from down south, coming from New Orleans, moving there, coming from Mobile, Alabama, just being in the Gulf Coast, we don't have facilities like this in Dallas. This is crazy. This is amazing. And I saw the opportunity that these kids had, and I was like, wow. Only if I had it, I'm pretty sure you guys feel the same way. Only if you had it coming up as a kid and had somebody to actually teach us and show us the game, how it's supposed to be played. Me being a former Division I basketball player, me being a former college coach, it was like, okay, somebody has to teach these kids how to play the game. I see the talent. The talent is here. The talent is going to get you a scholarship.
Right. The natural ability.
Right, don't get you a scholarship. You got to have a basketball IQ. Whatever your job is, you play the point guard, 2 guard, 3 guard, whatever, you got to be elite at something. And that starts up here. You got to have a basketball IQ to know what to do and when to do it.
Yes, sir.
And you know, just you saying that, Keith was talking to someone yesterday, and what were they saying, Keith? As far as he was saying that people don't need training.
I mean, that's
Training's
a whole
not
other
required,
conversation.
but
yeah, that's a whole other conversation and debate that me and him were having.
But to me, the training, when you say people don't need training, they do need training in order to develop the basketball IQ.
For sure. And we'll get into that part of it, because again, that's a whole nother segment conversation we need to have. But to go back to what you said, Reggie, about the facilities, like I connected to that because that was my experience, you know, coming out of college, not being from here as well, and doing market research on where should we plant Kingdom Performance, where is going to be a great spot for us to land to be able to shift the culture. And looking at the DFW area and the facilities, the PSAs, the field houses, it was something that I've never seen before. You know, being from California, San Diego to be specific, you know, there was probably one major facility that was out in that area, and, you know, everything was happening there. But they had 4 and 5 of them spread out across the DFW. So I'm like, okay, you know, the light bulb went off, like there's something there, right? Evidently, you know, people have the disposable income. The cities are getting behind, you know, athletics, and parents are willing to invest. So it must be something in this marketplace for us to set up shop to be able to build what it is that we're called to build. So that's a cool thing, man. And how me and you connected was through a pastor, spiritual advisor, counselor, Pastor Stafford. Shout out to Pastor Stafford at Fellowship Christian Center Church. Good brother. Church is right down the street. My parents are faithful members there. And you were coaching Lil Nate, right? And Stafford was like, man, Coach WILCOX, Coach Reggie, man, you got to meet with him. Man, he's a good brother. And that stuck out because when you're talking about basketball, typically the basketball is first, right? You're talking about, man, okay, he's a great coach, or man, he's experienced. Like they go into that side of it. The first thing he said was, he's a good person. He's a great guy. Y'all should connect. Knowing the basketball and the athletics was going to be what it's going to be, but the character led everything else.
Perfect. But pick out what you said. The character part has to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Basketball, everybody either played the basketball, they watch it, they know something about basketball. So we have so many coaches, so many teams in DFW. But the one thing that sticks out, what gravitates me to people, is character as a person, as a human being.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be a good human being, you have a good spirit on you for me to even interact or deal with you, because the basketball side of it, because you have to care about these kids, number one.
Mm-hmm.
You got to really, really care about them. You can't be doing it for yourself.
Right.
If you're doing it for yourself, you're not going to last long in this business. You have to care about these kids. And when I say about that, that's all kids walk of life. The elite kids, the kids just starting basketball, the ones that just beginners. You got to approach every kid like they going to be the next LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
And let the chips fall where they may.
Right.
That kid might make his high school team. That might be
as far as he goes.
That might be as far as he goes.
Right. And you have to be okay with that, because that's his journey.
That's his journey.
Yeah.
You have to be okay with that.
So how do you combat the elite and the competitiveness with that mentality? Because typically, when you're trying to be a top dog, it's all about recruiting. It's all about the talent. It's all about, getting that guy who's the next Power 5 recruit. So how do you balance the elite side with the development? It's about meeting you where you are. How do you balance those two worlds?
Absolutely. How I balance it is, on the elite side, an elite player when you see one. We know a lot of these kids that come through my program and any one of the big programs here in Dallas, we knew in the 6th grade that kid was going to be special.
Mm-hmm.
That's why a lot of they gravitate to those kids early.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody gravitate to those kids early. And those kids, that's just the way it goes. Those kids, they
single them out. They put them in the positions to succeed,
they get special privilege.
Right.
They get special privilege. They just happy they put him on his team.
Mm-hmm.
One weekend he playing with this team, next weekend, and they okay with that. Everybody just want that kid to be a part of what they're doing because it makes them look good.
Right.
So do you think that hurts the industry?
Honestly,
and the kid? Do you think it does a disservice to the kid, the athlete themselves, who's being chased and loved on and clouded for just the talent, right? Yes. And jumping around with no commitment? Or do you think that it benefits him as well as the programs themselves?
I look at it both ways. Long term, it will hurt the kid. Long term, it will, because it teaches them not to commit to something.
Mm-hmm.
You have to commit to, I don't care what it is in life, you got to commit to something. And when you make that commitment, you got to
stick with it.
You got to stick with it.
Yeah.
Through thick and thin.
Thick and thin. And good and bad.
That's it.
And that's reminding me of the transfer portal right now.
Yeah.
Killing the game.
It's killing the game.
Mm-hmm. And they're jumping around and the same thing that's going on, been going on.
Yeah, it's just done above the table now.
Right, yeah.
The money's being exchanged.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
They ain't tripping now.
When these kids get to college, because they're going, they're special. They have God-given ability. They are special. 6'7", 6'8", they just have the whole package.
Mm-hmm.
So to think about that, but once they get to college, because in their younger years, they was able to jump on different teams. Now, when things go, that first month, things not going right on at school, at college, guess what? The first thing is what you've been doing. Like, it's a pattern. It's now I'm not happy over here, so now I want to go somewhere else where somebody's telling me it's greater. It's better. So now when you get to school, you don't want to put the work in and go through the wall, because when you go through that wall, trust me, it's going to come out better than you ever been before if you put in the work.
For sure.
But now when it gets tough for them, or they're not starting, they're not playing, because they've been the man.
And they got options.
Right.
They've been the man since 5th grade.
Yeah.
So when you get to school, everybody's the man where they come from.
Yeah, man. And that's a humbling moment, man. That I experienced it myself. You know, going to college and you're thinking your stuff don't stink and you feeling like the road is going to be straight for you and paid for you to be successful because of who you are and who you were. But like we were talking about a little earlier, it's not about where you've been, it's about where you at. So where you been, you were a top dog. You were the man. You were the guy. Now you're stepping into the pot with other guys.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Other dogs and other, college professional bona fide players that can go get it. What are you going to do? It's like starting over again.
Yeah.
And that's hard for some players, right? And especially men, it kind of, hurts the ego a little bit. And you know what I mean? And I was humbled and it was the best thing that ever happened to me, that transition. And I came out a better person, right? A better player, but a better person before that.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So talk about, you came here, right? You college athlete, college coach, started in EAD. Also, you were in the school district. Talk about, your experiences with the school district and the balance between that and developing your own program.
Yes. The experience with the school district is being a teacher, current teacher educator. This will be starting in January, 17 years being an educator. People don't know that they think I just do basketball.
And I'm gonna say this, as a former educator. Really, we are educators, but a formal educator in the school system. Thank you for your service, because I know, when the military vets stand up and all that, we're thanking them for their service, which is honorable. But there's some service being done in these schools that's not being recognized, it's not being compensated for, that needs to be spoken about. So thank you for your service.
Absolutely, appreciate it. Thank you.
And you're currently where?
I'm the athletic director at University Academy. I'm the varsity boys coach at University Academy. Charter school here in Dallas. Look us up. We're in Capel, we're in Irving, 2 different campuses. Great school. But to piggyback back on just being in the independent school district, I got a chance to see a lot of kids in Dallas ISD. Well, where I was former teaching there, been there for, like I said, 16 years. I got a chance to see kids in the educational realm, not just on the basketball court. I got a chance to see these kids in school, how they interact, and just how, because people understand, you got to have the school piece to go with the basketball.
Student before the athlete.
You got to be a student before the athlete. That's number one. There's so many kids that I have seen in all my 16 years being in Dallas, there's some kids, some talent has come through that independent school district. But a lot of them don't get a chance to be seen because nobody's there to put the educational piece in front of the basketball piece to let them know that, look, the basketball piece you have, God gave you God-given ability that a lot of kids don't have. If you just apply yourself in the school, the rest of it going to take care of yourself. So we lose more kids because of nobody implying that nobody's telling them, okay, school, education. And everybody's not meant to be, I said they're going to be a doctor or a lawyer. But at least apply yourself in the classroom enough where you can give yourself a chance to take that God-given ability and you can go and have a better life.
That's good.
After basketball.
Yeah, after basketball. So do you think, and I'm sure it's on both sides, but is it applying or is it stimulation? Like, because, as athletes, we're stimulated and we can't sit still. They want to label it ADD, ADHD, but hyperactive. But it's like, as athletes, that's in our body, it's in our genes. Like and so we learn differently. Do you think the system needs to be kind of reconstructed to serve athletes and serve people, not just athletes, but with that type of,
I agree. As a whole, I think it should be changed because nowadays with kids, man, it's different. They have a lot going on nowadays.
Yeah, for sure.
Coming up. It's a lot. Life is a lot that they see. There's a lot that they go through. Television, social media. There's so many things that they learn different ways now.
For sure.
They're not just learning
the traditional way. You can't.
From the book and giving them a test.
Right.
I think the testing part is something that we need to reevaluate because testing can't tell a lot about this kid from what he knows. Right. Some kids, testing is something they do not want to do. They freeze up. I was one of those kids.
The environment itself.
The environment itself, testing. Because if I failed this test, then what? So testing is something that I think that we need to kind of reevaluate. I think we need to go off just seeing how kids learn in different ways and just gauge them by what they do in a setting, well, a smaller setting. They have too many kids in the classroom, too, number one. That's a lot of kids for kids to try to learn and pay attention. You got grown folks, adults can't even pay attention long than 10 minutes.
Right.
A kid.
Right.
In a room of 50.
In a room, yeah.
And personalities and hormones and
all that.
Absolutely. Ask kids to do that. It's kind of okay. Yeah, so I think that's a whole nother story, but I think we do need to change that. But back to your question about the elite kid versus when you dealing with elite kids, they're gonna try different places. That's understandable because when they're elite like that, you want to see what's the best for your kid.
And rightfully so.
And rightfully so. You want to see what's the best for your kid. You definitely want to see what's best for your kid. So I don't have any problem with that. But I think we need to come together as coaches, though.
Yes, sir.
That's the number one thing. Let's just say if you have a elite kid, he had Kingdom Performance, and EAD might have a bigger platform for him. At the end of the day, I think we should come together.
Yes.
Instead of the kid becoming EAD.
Yeah.
Become EAD. No. It can still be Kingdom Performance.
Yeah.
People can come together. It's going to take all of us to help him. Because guess what? He came to you for a reason. He's with you for a reason. They trust, the parents trust you for a reason. So you have to respect that. The rapport y'all have with that kid. Us coming along, we just add to what y'all already doing. I just want to add to that.
For sure.
That's it. So we should come together as one. With EAD Kingdom and get this kid to where it needs to be.
That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
And that's what Kingdom community is about.
That's it, man. 100%.
And that's what, our mindset is. And why do that was the basis of our relationship last season, where we, you had, of course, elite players, and your players played with us.
Yes.
Not only just playing with us, but practicing, becoming part of our program.
Absolutely.
And also our players becoming part of your program and experiencing the elite atmosphere and athletes. Why do you feel like it's so hard for organizations to do that?
Because I think
you've been around and you've seen
around the block and back
all different levels.
Yeah. I think number one, ego. Number one, everybody wants the credit for. At the end of the day, they are not our kids.
Right.
They have parents.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
We don't feed them. We don't put clothes on them. They're not our kids. God just put us in a position to help this kid along the way. We can't look at it. If you look at this, my kid, no, they're not our kids.
Right.
They have parents. They have family. They have people that love them. That truly love them. If they stop playing basketball, you're going to look for the next.
That's good. That's
right.
They're good.
Yeah.
That kid, something happened to that kid. That kid can't play no more basketball, and we got to nurture that kid. A lot of these people, you ain't going to see them no more.
Yeah.
But the parents still going to be there.
Yeah.
So we got to understand that they're not our kids. We just here to help.
Right.
That's the only reason why we're here, to use whatever God gave us to do. Everybody brings something different to the table. So let's come together and get this kid where this kid is trying to go. When he make it, he get there. If he go D1 and sign, look, everybody should be proud and happy for that kid.
Right.
Go see the kid play and all that. I know they want the kid make it to the NBA. Look, if the kid make it to the NBA, he got family to feed.
Yeah.
He got his own family need to be taken care of.
Right.
And help him to, when he do get there, let's help him to be able to keep his money. So guess what? He wants to play basketball till he's 40 years old. And provide for his family. So we got to change that whole mindset that this our kid, and we just got to come together.
Right.
And the thing that's crazy is that the reward, the feeling is the same.
It's the same.
Like it's the same if a kid is working with us and
It's
you,
the same.
us
Right.
independently, you independently.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, I'm gonna have that same feeling,
Absolutely.
regardless if it's 100% or
Absolutely.
2%. Like the fact that I was able to impart something, that
Absolutely.
fulfillment is gonna be the same regardless of
Right.
the amount of time.
And
Yeah.
guess what? We got to tip like this is stuff that we truly do.
Right.
Because we have a kid, EAD, Cam Brown, prime example.
Mm-hmm.
Have a kid at Marquette,
Mm-hmm.
EAD kid. He worked, trained with Keith. Here at Kingdom Performance.
Right.
It was a blessing. Marquette made it to the big dance.
Mm-hmm.
We were there. We were there.
We were there.
Yeah, we were at the game.
You know how that felt to see this man there? It was Cam and his beautiful family. Myself, Keith there. We sitting down on the floor to watch that, to see that. Everybody who had some type of touch on this kid's life was sitting here watching this kid. North Carolina, right?
It sure was.
They played against UNC.
Right.
It's a kid that we have
Poured into.
We poured into.
Yeah.
Not EAD, even though he played for it, he had some. If he spent 2 hours with this kid a week, he had an effect on that kid.
Right.
He trained with him.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be there. Because them hours he put in with him helps him to get where he's trying to go.
Right.
So to watch Keith there, to sit there, we watch this kid against University of North Carolina. Come on, man, don't get no better than that. He a pro in my eyes.
Yeah.
He already a pro. And what we have done to get this kid to where he at, come on, man, we don't get no better than that. We can retire right now. We got a kid play against UNC. How many coaches can say that? We watched a kid play against University of North Carolina.
Yeah.
The kid that we have coached and have trained to come through our program. To come through here. And he had the Kingdom Performance. He had came through here.
Right.
So that's the mindset we got to have.
Yeah, man. So again, you've been around the block and back again, been in this game, in this industry for a long time. Talk about, your experiences dealing with circuits as we lead into this new venture that we're stepping into. But talk about your start, with Nike leading up to where we're about to go now.
Absolutely. Well, through my journey of getting to this point, I was able to get with some great programs that was affiliated with Nike. I got a chance myself to be a part of Under Armour. Everybody know we was Under Armour for the past, I think, 3 years. But coming up through that circuit, you got a chance to see so much. You got a chance to, I want to say it, see the elite kids. To see how these programs interact with these kids, to see how things are ran. So I learned a lot. I mean, trust me, I learned a lot interacting with those programs that I want to say on the Nike circuit that got a chance to, I want to say this, travel and really see the highest level of elite kids. I mean, these kids are special kids. 6'9", 6'10". I mean, these are freak athletes. So just watch a practice and have kids in your program go over and play with those kids. This is before we was on any circuit, had anything to do with the circuit. So some of my kids was able to go play on the Nike circuit, get a chance to watch somebody practice with these programs and see these kids perform. You got a chance to see like, wow, these kids are special. But it's a catch-22 to that, because when you it's dog eat dog, you performing or you not. There's no in between.
Yeah.
Straight up and down.
And every kid, every athlete thinks they want to be at that level. Every parent thinks they want their kid to be on that level.
You want your kid to be on that level. You have to be special.
Right.
You got to be special. And I tip my hat off to those guys, those programs that because those kids, as a player, you have to be special. They don't have time. We didn't have time for your kid to have a bad day.
Right. Yeah.
There's no such thing as bad day.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure. You can't have a bad day. When that college coach show up,
you got to perform.
You got to perform.
Yeah.
When he comes see you, that might be that one chance. One chance. You get one shot. You get one shot. When he spend his time, come, fly in, drive, come to that gym. and walk into that arena, that gym, there you turn.
To see you play.
To see you play, to perform.
Right.
You got one shot.
Either he highlighting you or he crossing you off.
It's one of the two.
Right.
It's one of the two.
Yeah.
It's one of the two. So that's the world that we're talking about when you're talking about that world. That's a whole nother world. So the guy sense experience and see that kids are cut and built. You got to be built a certain way to be able to perform on that level.
Right.
And it taught me so much. I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad I went through that journey because it showed me like, you have to put in the work. You can't skip the process.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just say, "Oh, I want to go play on the circuit." You have to put in the 1,000 of jump shots, the 1,000 of pull-up jump. You have to put in the work. So when the lights come on, you done did this a million times.
Right.
It didn't matter who in the gym. I done did this 1,000 times.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But that's when programs like EAD and Kingdom Performance come into place because we love the development piece, not just the final piece where, okay, we bring a top kid in and play. No, we want to develop you from the bottom and get you to that point. So we don't skip the process. We want to actually get this kid in and put this kid through the work. So by the time we put them out on that platform, on that circuit, we know what we're doing. We know what we're getting.
Right.
So even if you're not there right now, we're going to just say if a kid's not there right now, in the 7th, 8th grade, 9th grade, we're going to put in so much work year round. Basketball is nothing but repetition. It's not hard. Basketball is not hard. We make it hard because we don't teach the game the right way.
That's a true statement.
Yeah, we don't teach the game.
Yeah.
Not enough people teaching the game of basketball. If you teach the game, it's not hard. You can watch. You can look at college basketball now. Who's the best team? Ain't nobody say nobody number one.
Right.
Anybody can get knocked off right now.
Sure.
In college basketball. Anybody. It's no. Back in the days, you knew you.
Yeah, it was a bona fide
bona fide.
Yeah.
You knew.
Yeah.
You knew the top three. No such thing no more.
Yeah.
No, because everybody can do everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. So now it's about who can. It's up here now.
Yeah.
That's it.
Who's putting in the work? Who's
disciplined?
Discipline. Yeah.
Discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all about discipline. Everybody can shoot a three.
Yeah.
Everybody can cross over. Everybody can do step there. Everybody can do a euro. Everybody do that. Got third graders doing all that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nothing.
Yeah. That's nothing. Everybody can do that.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
But it's who putting in the work.
Right.
And who knows what to do. The basketball like
It's the when and the why.
Thank you. It's the when and the why. So you get with programs and who's teaching your kid the when and the why. That's when you're going to see his game, when you're going to see him just keep evolving, keep getting better, keep getting better. People be like, dog, coach, we didn't know you had kids at University of Florida, kids. We just stay in our own lane.
And it's commitment. And when
It's commitment.
the athlete and the parent have to be bought in to be able to be there long enough to experience the process.
They're not going to crock pot.
Right.
Thank you.
Every day they come in, they're training. They might not even, they're working out. They might not learn anything that day, but then the following day, it's a process. You have to stay in the process.
It's about learning daily. Because you're gonna learn something, even if you're
gonna learn
doing
something,
the same thing, you're gonna learn something small, and that's
what I'm
small
saying.
Things over time.
Yes,
right.
Absolutely. So it's just doing it. And one thing I have learned with kids, they get bored.
Right. And distracted.
They get bored and they get distracted. But that's the piece they don't understand. You can't get bored. The key to basketball is doing the same thing over and over and over and over.
Right. And that's what I meant by they might come into training and not learn something. They might learn something in one area but not recognize it. But to them, they haven't learned anything. You know what I mean? And so then they're getting bored. They're thinking, I'm just doing the same thing over and over and over. I'm not learning anything, but they are.
But you are, exactly.
Right.
And the goal is for you to be perfect what you're doing. You have to be elite at it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not elite at whatever that is, the pull-up jump shot, if you're not making 8 out of 10 of those, if you're not making 7 out of 10 or 6 out of 10 3-pointers,
With someone covering you.
you're not a shooter.
That's
Right.
real. And then there's a quote, I don't know who said it, but it's like they say, don't practice until you get it right. Practice until you can't get it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really embedding it and it becoming who you are.
Absolutely.
Like keep training, keep developing, keep studying until you can do it in your sleep. And it's automatic because that's what's going to be required of you at the elite level, at the college level, at the pro level, because there's a slew of guys in line waiting. There's a slew of guys in the transfer portal. There's a slew of guys on 10-day contracts. There's a slew of guys sitting in the lobby waiting for a call, waiting for an opportunity to slide in and take your spot.
Hungry. And Kobe, just to mention Kobe on the what game. Kobe, Kobe used to like that elbow shot. Get to that elbow, it's butter.
Mm-hmm.
He did a move like at the end of the game, 4 seconds left, got to the elbow. He missed it, the shot. They went into overtime. Just, Kobe, repetition. Kobe used to do the same thing over and over again. Nothing extravagant with his workout. Came overtime. 3 seconds left. He went to that same shot.
Mm-hmm.
Because he didn't done it. He
Right.
didn't try nothing different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nothing different. He just went to what he'd been working on constant hour after hour after hour.
Mm-hmm.
He went to that same elbow. Game time.
Yeah, they said his workouts used to be boring.
Game time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
They said, man, he's the most boring. Like,
Right. Yeah. Fundamental.
Basic.
Same
One
Over and
shot.
over and over.
Yeah.
Fundamental.
Turnarounds.
He came back to that same shot in overtime. Won the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I say that kids have to understand, and us as trainers and as coaches, as program, we got to get these kids and parents to understand that we have to do things over and over and over and over and over, and stop looking for the bells and whistles.
Right.
YouTube, we get caught up with YouTube
Yeah.
so much with the. I saw some strange stuff now, man. They rolling out all type of stuff during training now.
Mhm.
Just making it look good.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It looks good,
Yeah.
but you have to.
Is it effective?
But is it realistic?
Is it effective?
Yeah.
Is it effective?
Right.
Is it effective? It's all about that's going to put in the hours and time with your kid. That's what it's all about. You got to put in the time and the hours.
Mm-hmm.
You got to perfect it. If he's not a great ball handler, you got to get and work on that ball handling every day.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get and work on it every single day. Can't take days off.
Right.
That's real.
Can't take days off.
I think there's like a misconception and maybe even a confusion about that, philosophy because, in life, in business, right? And we want to add,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Us as business partners in our facility, we always look to add something to
Mhm.
enhance the
That's
experience,
true.
right?
That's true.
So I think maybe that is the
That's
mentality
true. That's
of
true.
the training. I got to add. And you want to add to the bag. You want to add, right?
Mhm.
But you have to also look on the other side of that is it's like a recipe.
Thank you.
Once you got the recipe, do you go keep adding to the point to where you got something completely different than what you,
Come on.
you know what I mean? Now you altering the taste of what it is or who you are.
Mhm.
Like if Kobe started doing some stuff that this not who, now he's not who he is, right? He's no
Right.
longer, being like so it's about finding that formula, finding that recipe, adding enough to it and enhancing that experience of who you are to be the best version of who you're called to be and sticking with it.
Right.
And being okay with that and not, this guy's over here doing this, so I got to do that
And
because
not
he's
trying
doing
to compete.
It's not about that. It's
Yeah,
about being
yeah.
the best version of you because who you are could eventually be better than what he is with all those
With all the
other
extra.
things he got. You dig?
Yeah.
With all the extra.
Mhm.
Absolutely. That's true. You got to stick with it.
Got to stick with it. So it's talking about sticking with it. So you went through.
You can't change.
You went through the different logos. You went through the Nike. You went through the Under Armours.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
you didn't stick with it for
Absolutely.
whatever reason, and now we're on the new. So I'll let you.
So that's the progression.
That's
so
the progression.
Starting with where? Starting with Nike,
Yeah.
then going to
Yes. Allowing my kids to be able to experience that.
uh,
There's nothing wrong with that. Allowing them to go experience, be able to watch them to go play on that and do certain things and being able to be a part of that.
But you're saying being a part of that, but you were Nike, right? You were Nike EAD at one point, correct?
You can say I never when you don't control nothing, I don't like, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not big on that.
I'm with you.
I'm not big on that. I'm not big on that. I'm not big on that at all.
If you're gonna die, you're gonna die what you drive.
I'm just EAD.
Yeah.
I was just EAD. I was EAD. I just had some kids that was able to be a part of that
circuit, that arena.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Nike circuit, then Under Armour.
Under Armour, absolutely. Then we was able to do the Under Armour circuit on the Rise thing. I was able to do that. That was a great experience because we got a chance to, how I want to say it, really be a part of it, be in the building, to see how these kids, basically what we're talking about. The kids that were successful was the ones that they were so fundamentally sound, man. The kids were so fundamental. Like, they didn't do anything special, but they was good at what they do.
Right.
And it made you realize, like, dog, that kid don't look like he can, but he is a dog. You can't do nothing with it. When he get to his bag, he get to that mid-range, when he get to that, it's a bucket. You can't stop that. And you saw, like, that kid been putting in some work.
And see the development.
You saw the development. It wasn't nothing special, but you couldn't do anything with him. And it was consistency. And that's what those college coaches love. That kid, every game you saw consistency. What he did on the first day, he was doing on the third day.
Yeah. Man. I mean, let's add to that bag. Let's add to the bag of consistency. Because that could fill a bag up. Just being consistent at what you're called to do.
Absolutely. Right? Absolutely. So and we was as far as the Nike thing, I did a little bit with a certain program for a split second with I think with Sci-Fair. Great organization, man. I tip my hat off to them. We had a little stint with them, and that's where the Nike thing came from, because everybody knows Sci-Fair. It's on the girl side, it's a Nike YPF program, and I learned a lot from them.
And they're out of Houston.
Yeah, they're out of Houston. Yeah.
They're a strong program.
Strong program. So people attached that EAD with Nike because I was the director of Sci-Fair here in the Dallas area. Great guy who runs Sci-Fair. Great guy. Gave me a lot of knowledge, a lot of understanding. So to this day, still a great friend. So that's how the Nike EAD came about, because of me being the director over Sci-Fair here in Dallas over the board.
Gotcha.
So that's how that kind of came together. So yeah.
And now we on
the present,
the new, and the people ain't seen the shoes.
The announcement.
Yes.
The new.
So go ahead and make the announcement.
Yes. Been blessed, man. It's a blessing to be able to say, and this started like a year or two ago. I know New Balance was partnering with certain it's called Next Pro. They came together. New Balance and Next Pro came together to put together a circuit. It's called the MB16 League. And everybody know MB stands for New Balance, where we'll be able to rock all the New Balance gear. New Balance will be sponsoring all the gear for us, shoes, and check it out. It's hot. They got some of the hottest gear out right now. I mean, and so we've been fortunate enough to be one of the programs to become part of the MB16 League, which people call it New Balance Circuit, which is great. What I love about it, it allows our program to be able to put as many teams on the MB40 circuit that we feel that it's built to be able to play on that level, like we just got to talking about. We understand that level is high level.
Right.
It's high level basketball.
So people understand how exclusive this is.
Yes.
How many organizations, we don't have to mention them, but how many organizations are in the circuit in Texas?
Absolutely. Just to be talking about no more, I want to say like 4 or 5 in the state of Texas alone, just to be able to be a part of this. That shows you that, hey, to be a part of this is you have to be special. So for myself, for Coach Keith, for Coach Rod to feel like, okay, we look at your game, we look at you able to be a part of what we're doing is special. So take that as what is made. So if Coach say, look, hey, we starting our MB40 circuit teams next week. If you guys come out, if you one of the few chosen, that is a blessing.
So the announcement is that EAD
Yes.
is one of the organizations
Yes.
on the NB16
Yes,
league.
absolutely. Absolutely.
And the big announcement
Yes.
is that Kingdom Performance or EAD is partnering with Kingdom Performance
Absolutely.
in us being able to be a part of
Absolutely.
the NB16 league.
There you go. And what Rod is trying to say, basically, everybody know the word is out, not EAD. It's the NB16 program that's part of the New Balance league that's going on. At the end of the day, what we're about to do, we're about to join forces together and try to get as many as these kids in the city of Dallas who has the potential to be able to play on a big platform such as this.
Mm-hmm.
And if they aren't ready,
Absolutely.
it's our
It's our
passion,
And responsibility.
responsibility, duty
to
get them ready.
get them ready.
Yeah.
To get the kids ready.
That's dope, man.
That's
Dope.
all it is.
And looking at, man, New Balance, and I'm glad they're in this space. I've been, following New Balance for a little bit and just seeing, their progression in the basketball space. You know what I mean? They had the kid, Darius that was with Clutch Sports that opted to go to college to get that internship.
Yep.
And I was super intriguing, like, man, okay, that's dope. And then he ended up signing with them, being one of their first athletes, and then Kawhi, and then now they got the Murray boys. They getting it. Zach LaVine's over there.
Yes.
So they're starting to make a wave,
Absolutely.
in the NBA. Their lifestyle stuff is going to a different level. I mean, I watch a lot of these sneaker blogs and podcasts, and they're talking heavy about, the New Balance gear and, the wave that's coming with that. So it's exciting that they're now touching the youth.
Absolutely.
So, kind of talk, if you can, more about, all that's going to be coming along with it. Like, the knowledge, because, we're about knowledge, about the connectivity, like gear, like whatever it is, just the whole experience. I know they got their facility out in Boston. We have the same floors as they by Tarkett. So just talk about just everything they got going on, because it's powerful.
Absolutely. Man, all I said, man, you guys get ready, because I'm talking about they're coming, the way that they're launching that thing is different from nobody's doing it like they're doing. The New Balance is providing the gear. And you got the NBA League, they are really, really marketing their players. They are marketing their players, the players that's within, as well as in the NB16 League. They are really getting out at these circuit tournaments. They're going to be there really putting videos together, marking the players, so you get a chance. It's not just about one player.
And it's not about just playing. It's about getting that marketability to the next level. That's dope level. In the circuit. Okay.
That's dope. And I mean, that's amazing. And like us being able to we in so many states. And the great thing about, I love what they're doing, because we have so many teams. We have so many EAD teams. We're in like 6 states now. That it would allow all of our top national, elite teams to be able to get in the building, get a chance to be a part of this. And like I said, the more, because we're about reaching as many kids as we can.
Right.
So that's what made me intrigued to what they're doing and what they're offering. It's like, okay, we get a chance to have more kids that play on this high level, this platform. And it was a no-brainer when I said, we're going to allow all of our, in 6 states, all of our teams in all these states, EAD teams, our top kids get a chance to play on this platform. How about, man, let's reach out to Kingdom Performance, where we can get more kids in the DFW to get a chance to benefit for what we're able to, what we're a part of.
Yeah.
More kids, because we have so many kids in DFW that can play this game of basketball.
Right.
Kids moving in every day.
Yeah, for sure.
We got kids moving in this DFW. It's so many kids that can play the game, but they go unseen. Nobody's taking the time, invest in them. And I know there's a lot of, I'm not this. At the end of the day, you come in, be a part of what we're doing, and the development piece, we're going to put in the work.
Yeah, trust the process.
Trust the process. Come be a part of what we're doing and trust the process. Trust me, we're going to get you where you're trying to go. Trust the process. Whether that's D1, D2, D3, NAIA, it's different levels to this. It's not all about D1. At the end of the day, it's about going to school, getting your school paid for.
Right.
And that's when the educational piece comes in too, because if you're playing basketball and you got a certain GPA, all that factors in. You get money too at the same time.
Right. And it's also not to jump in, but I have to in this point. It's also about life after the ball bounces.
It's all about life after basketball.
Right. And so being able to have a platform and maybe learn a trade that can help support these players after they're done playing and to get them on that path and journey is important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we have players who have played in EAD program, have went off to college, played and who has finished. Now, guess what?
They're coming back.
They have moved to other cities. Guess what? They have started EAD in the cities they moved in.
That's dope.
That's what it's about.
Right.
So guess what? They're entrepreneurs. They're running their own business already at 20, 21.
And they learned it from watching you.
And they learned it. They learned it. They went. But it's the thing. They trust the process. They was in the program from 5th grade all the way up. So this is home. So they trust the process.
And they've seen the evolution.
They've seen the family. They see we're family now. So they have moved on. They're in California. They moved on. Now they're running EAD
in their cities.
In their city.
Man.
They're running it.
So with the, New Balance has made it to where and put it together that the schedule's already out.
Yes.
I mean, it's a full schedule.
Full schedule, so we can put the schedule up as well, so people can see that it's real. What's our next steps as far as moving forward with our partnership?
Next step.
What we got planned?
Let's launch dates for these workouts.
And the combines.
So the combine's coming soon.
Yeah. Kids to come out. Get them to come out. Take advantage of what we're offering. Let's go. Get them in the gym. Let's get to work. Because it'll be here quick.
It's going to be here quick. So when's the first tournament? March.
And that's the thing that's crazy. They got it's all the way March,
all the way
like
to
3 and 4 tournaments a month.
Yes.
Right. It's optional, of course, to play all of them, but the fact that they have those opportunities there is pretty cool.
So we have to start now because March will be here before you know it.
There we go.
So it's time to get in the gym now.
Time to get it. So playing for your school and all that, you got to put in that extra work. You got to, if you want to be part of the MB16 league.
There it is.
You're going to be part of the MB16 league. Now it's time.
There we go.
Your parents tell you, let's go. We just got to get in the gym now. We got to put in the work now.
Right.
We got to start now. Because everywhere over the country, they're in the gym.
Right.
They're putting in work now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everywhere.
And it's a beautiful thing, man. So to kind of wrap up, this is what it's all about. We talk about community, connectivity, working together. And for us to have developed a relationship and to be doing it, like not just talking about it, but us actually establishing it and working together. We've already worked together in the past, and what it's taken to another level. It's reality, and that's what I want it to be seen. I want, because we have the responsibility of us coming to the fold and letting people know that, hey, young Black people doing this can work together to support the athletes that we're called to serve. So I'm excited, man. I'm looking forward to the journey and blessed to, have met you and connect. So to wrap it up, man, just want to ask, how has the Kingdom community impacted you?
Man, you guys have impacted me tremendously because me being in this game for so long, since 2011. I think January 1st would be year 13, year 12, year 13, and just seeing, I finally get a chance to see a program that actually solely focus on the development piece. Like you guys, head down, tunnel vision. Every time I come in here, from the time I met you guys are in the gym, putting in the work. You're not skipping the process. You can't skip the process. I talk about that all the time. You have to get in this gym. And I see you guys doing combines. Skills development. All those things you have to do. These kids have to get in the gym. They have to put in the work. You have to, when you in this gym, you have to do things that correlate to basketball. That it can go from gym to the court game. And you guys do a lot of things where it transitions from the gym to games. I see a lot of stuff where we do a lot of tricks, a lot of skill play where we're doing a lot of, I want to say it, a lot of moves, but I don't see a lot of in-game teaching,
right?
In-game development. And you guys teach in-game stuff that you can actually do in the game. When I saw that day one, I was like, man, I like that. I like what we're doing. I like that mindset because it prepares kids for things that they're going to see in a game. Because you can do all this stuff at practice. I know a lot of guys who are great skill kids.
Yeah, drill masters.
Oh, my goodness. I know some kids, you just put them in skill work.
Mm-hmm.
You put them lights on, you put them zebras out there. The referees, it don't translate.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of stuff you can't do in the real game.
No.
So you have to teach things that transition over to a game. And that's how these kids become better. There's certain things that they have to know, that they have to learn. And I love how you guys go about teaching the actual game, what it takes to be successful on the court and off the court. And you guys are great in the community. I love what you guys, the marketing stuff y'all do. I love that. I think that's awesome. And that's what's needed. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited for us to come together
Yes, sir.
and put this thing together, man.
So are we.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
Most definitely.
Go, fellas.
All right, brother. Appreciate it, man.
All right, brother.
Let's roll.